Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gallagher Major, and this is WoWs Weekly. WoWs Weekly is a weekly news video covering news of World of Warships Legends the week past, the week coming up. Also a place where I do speculations regarding the game and some channel admin. Now, it is sweltering hot here in the UK, and so I hope you can bear with me while I torture myself by turning the fan off and closing the window in order to record this. Now, obviously, let's start off with some of the other news. Wargaming have confirmed that they are paying close attention to the reports about unexpected behaviour of damage distribution when turrets are being shot. Basically, it's currently believed by the playerbase that when turrets are being shot at, that the damage is being distributed to the overall HP of the ship rather than being taken into the HP of the turret module. So it looks like it's a potential issue. Now, they cannot confirm that this was unintended or when it started, whether it has started happening recently. However, they are running an internal investigation on the matter and will provide more information once it's confirmed, I guess you could say. Now, if I had to take a stab in the dark, I would say that potentially, maybe the issue started when they introduced that module for the French battleship turrets, in which they could reduce the overall damage taken by the turret. I wonder if that somehow had a knock-on effect, because that's whether it had a knock-on effect and somehow made it so turrets damage to turrets got passed on to the whole HP. That might be one of the things, but that's just me taking a wild stab in the dark and basing it off of just what they changed recently. Obviously, what the actual issue is yet to be confirmed. So, as you're noting, this WoWs Weekly is coming out after the patch notes trailer and patch notes have been released. So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to be covering the patch notes. However, I am covering the draft patch notes which were issued to the CCs in advance, so there may be some subtle changes. Obviously, we'll be going over the official patch notes later today in a live stream, so I hope you can join me there. But in a quick summary of the patch notes, obviously, first of all, it's the 2-year anniversary of World of Warships Legends official release. So obviously there's going to be quite a lot of freebies and discounts and things like that over the month. And there's interestingly there's a hint towards something called pre-sure font coming in August. Now, pre-sure font, it does rhyme with pressure front. Now, pressure front is a form of weather. If you look on World of Warships PC, there's something called thunderstorm front, which affects basically it's a weather effect that moves across the map, and when it does so, it affects detectability of ships within the weather system. So whether we could maybe see something like that in August, I don't know. Whether it's going to be a game mode or something like that, it's very hard to say. But that's my wild stab in the dark regarding that. Obviously, we have the ZF6 Tier 7 Premium German Destroyer campaign coming up. That's 100 milestones. Obviously, lots of rewards to collect along the way. It's worth noting that during this patch, they're introducing what they're calling the Retro Container. The Retro Container can only be earned through missions and stuff. It can't be purchased. Furthermore, is the alternative American battleships, the Nevada, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Kansas, will now become fully researchable, and it's also going to be the first chance for everyone to get their hands on the Kansas. So it's going to be interesting seeing how they move along. Regarding the Italians, we are seeing 2 new Italian destroyer commanders. Now, this is something I didn't expect, but because the only Italian destroyer we have in the game is the Leon. However, with the introduction of the Tier 7 Italian premium destroyer, Paolo Emilio, as a global XP ship, they've decided to add 2 new commanders. Now, it looks like everyone's going to be getting them off the bat. Just going to give them a quick summary of what their base trait is. We can cover their custom skill later on. But the universal traits, I'm not going to bother pronounce the names because I'm going to get them wrong, but one of them is In the Fog. This increases the duration of smokescreen generated by 10%. That's basically how long it takes to lay a smokescreen. And the other one is The Great Escape, and this increases the duration of your engine boost by 8% maximum, and reduces the reload time by 4%. So one's more about smokescreen, one's more about engine boost. Interesting skills, not maybe a bit niche though, I guess you could say. Also, we're seeing another collaboration, the Archipelago of Blue Steel, or also known as ARP, as some people will abbreviate it to. This is another Japanese anime thingy-mabobby about ships. And what they're confirming here is up to 5 commanders and 2 ships. Obviously, more information forthcoming on that. Regarding the Bureau, we're seeing a legendary birthday project come to the Bureau, but nothing else. So this is obviously a way to obviously earn some nice little rewards along the way regarding probably the past year's content, but nothing special. So it's no more legendary ships this patch. Fingers crossed, maybe we can start getting some legendary cruisers next patch. At least that's my hope. Better late than never, I guess. Ranked battles, this is quite an interesting season of ranked. First of all, they're adding arms race to ranked. Second of all, there's 3 seasons of ranked this patch. There's 2 weekend sprints, and then there's a single long like week one. Now the tiers, we're looking at 6 and 7. You're looking at tier 6 for one season, tier 7 for the next season, and then so that's the 2 weekend sprints, and then for the week-long one, you're looking at a combination of tier 5, 6, and 7, almost like as you progress through the ranked. The higher the tier goes, so it'd be basically split into 3 leagues that we've had before. So it's interesting to see that they're bringing 2 alternative previous iterations of ranked back, like the formulas, and then also adding arms race into this. It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes. Regarding the general balance changes of the game, first of all, we're seeing that legendary ships and tier 7 ships can now division up. So now that does mean, yes, you can division your tier 7 carrier up with a legendary tier battleship, or if you are a cruiser player and you don't really like the Alaska or the Worcester, at least you can play a tier 7 cruiser that you like with your division mates when they're playing legendary tier. Another really interesting one is all destroyer commanders will be receiving the perceptive skill. Now this is basically the same as twist and track, however, rather than it improving turret traverse, the other effects of it are that it increases the visibility of enemy torpedoes and reduces incoming damage to your destroyer, as well as pointing in the direction of the closest enemy ship. This is coming to all nations, so for the French and the British who do not have twist and track on any of the commanders, this is going to be a very interesting trait now added to them. It's something that I kind of felt like the French really needed. The French kind of needed twist and track, I felt, in order to really make use of their I win button or main battery reload booster. So having that introduced is going to be very interesting. This will be coming to the 3rd slot of the of your commander skills, to speed your 3rd skill down, I guess you could say. Regarding carriers, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. They're changing the number of aircraft and number of strike aircraft, or number of aircraft that go in for a strike, on the tier 7 carriers. Now for some it's just additional aircraft, for some it's additional aircraft and revisions to the number of aircraft that go in for the drop. This is this is affecting all torpedo flights and all bomber flights. Now the interesting thing they mention here is although they're increasing the number of aircraft overall in the flight, the amount of HP of the flight will be the same. So for example, say your existing flight of aircraft is 6 aircraft, and now after the patch it's going to be 9 aircraft, but those 9 aircraft will still have the same amount of overall HP as the 6 aircraft previously. So what you can probably expect from this is aircraft will be shot down more often, therefore carriers will be losing more aircraft, but they also have the ability to obviously get more strikes off if they're out there. I think it's a bit of a balancing act here. It's like potentially on one side you could shoot down a lot more aircraft, but on the other side the carriers picking on something that doesn't have great AA, then they get more strikes off. So again, it's riding that seesaw of do you have good AA or bad AA. Now, in addition to this, they're removing some of the least used traits on the Universal Commanders, which is an interesting change, I guess you could say, but I guess it's understandable because they're noting that these skills are rarely taken. In regards to miscellaneous improvements, they're introducing a new game mode on the big race map called Epicenter. Now there's more details of that. They're also revising spawns finally to make them more symmetric, with fewer situations occurring where ships are alone at a spawn. They're introducing a new medal called Clear the Skies, which is awarded for shooting down 20 aircraft in a battle. In addition, The aircraft-based bombers have received a new reticle. Going to be interesting to see what that looks like. There's a new button now which allows you to open all crates. So if you do have, say, 20 crates, rather than open them one at a time, you can just hit a new button which will then open them all, and then it'll open up a pop-up window and just tell you what all the rewards are. Detected ribbons or spotting ribbons are now available for all classes of ships, which is very interesting. New permanent camouflages for a variety of tier 7 ships, mostly German, French and American. There's also Japanese in there as well. And there's a couple of bug fixes, but there's no point really covering those in the WoWs Weekly. Now, as I've already alluded to, I will be going into more depth with the official patch notes later today in a live stream, which you can join in, and you can obviously raise any queries, questions you've got yourself, give your feedback and stuff as we go along. But overall, I would say I'm not so salty about this set of patch notes compared to previous patch notes. In regards to miscellaneous stuff, I guess for a bit of fun, on the Discord server, you may notice that Prince Blip has changed his name to Le Blip and changed his profile photo to a photo of him with a moustache and a red beret and some onions and stuff. That's my doing. If you've missed it in last week's WoWs Weekly, when I was talking about the French battleships, Ships of the Line live stream, I actually had a little bit of funny Photoshop happening in the background where I had changed Prince Blip's appearance. I had shared this with him prior to his live stream, and he's adopted it for now, which is rather amusing. So if you've got any complaints regarding Prince Blip's current name and profile photo, then you can clearly level them at me. Also, regarding the channel, one thing you'll probably notice now is my channel's now become eligible for the current testing of the new clip function on YouTube. What this does, it allows you to almost produce or save a clip from any of my videos, which is up to a minute long. And it will then allow you to share this via social media. So you can share it via Discord or Facebook or any other kind of social media like that. Now you can't share it via YouTube. I did look into that, but it's quite amusing. It is there, so if you want to take advantage of it, feel free to do so. Also, in regards to other channel news, I'm going to try and see if I can get the Tennessee reviewed and pushed out for tomorrow, but that may be a little bit subject to how long tonight's live stream goes on for, because obviously I've got to record and do the editing. And then obviously tomorrow we'll be doing the live stream looking at the gameplay. Whether I will have time on Monday to do a first look live stream will be subject to the wife, I have to confess. And I got the couple of things that I need to try and get done, so I might see if I can get a Colbert video done. Also, in regards to gameplay captures, I do have a few, but if anyone does have any that they would like to send in, then feel free to do so. The email address is always down in the description. Well, that's everything I have to comment on, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe, and if you are subscribed, I say thank you very much. If you're a patron, I'd also like to say thank you very much, and I do need to get into communication with you guys soon, so expect a message on Patreon in the coming days. And as always, I've been the Galloping Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the Galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the Galloping